Hi guys, Aceface back with another video for you, and I've got a battle report and a special battle report because I'm here with this gentleman here.
Very special.
It's very special. I like to say special. It's not so special because I say special quite a lot.
Do you say special quite a lot?
Quite a lot.
Okay, that's very special.
But it is special, honestly, guys, because we have got the very first outing of the 30k World Eaters, and this army, I really do thank you guys for being patient. The amount of comments I've had, when am I going to see the World Eaters, when am I going to see the World Eaters? Well, you see them today. So thank you for being with us. It's been a labour of love. These guys have taken a while to put together, but I have 2,500 points of painted World Eaters ready to hit the channel right
and I
now.
get to destroy them.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
New model syndrome everywhere.
It is very much so, and new game syndrome as well.
Dead in turn 2.
Yeah. So I'm really happy that Winters is going to slowly but surely take me through this gently.
Yeah. Gently.
Yeah.
I'll be gentle with you. I'm much more sober this time around.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully there won't be so many outtakes at the end of this, but I can't promise anything. Maybe just marginally less swearing.
I'll try not to say bollocks.
Try not to say bollocks. But yeah, so it's going to be a fun game. We are just basically going to play. What's the mission? Come on,
Blood feud.
Blood feud.
Beat the snot out of each other.
Yeah, so we're just going to kill each other for a few turns, and hopefully you guys are going to enjoy it. So I've pretty much bought a very fluffy list. There's the only way I'm going to build this this World Eaters list is just purely fluff driven. If you want cheese, watch my tail, because that's not what you're going to see here.
It's Istvan 3. It's Khan and Garviel Loken.
There we are forging some rock hard narrative.
There's some hard narrative going on.
There is some seriously hard narrative being driven here. So it's going to be fun, it's going to be a laugh. We've kind of made sure that the armies aren't too ridiculously overpowered one way or the other, so hopefully it should be backwards and forwards, and hopefully I'm not going to get my face smashed in turn 1, fingers crossed. But yeah, so look forward to this, guys, because I'm looking forward to this so much. And this, guys, is my 2,500 points of World Eaters. So at long last, the guys are ready. This is the first. This is pretty much everything I've got. I've got a couple of extra characters, a couple of little tweaks to change the squads around, but more or less, this is the force that I have to play with. Because this is the first outing of my new World Eaters, and because a few of you don't necessarily watch a lot of 30k, so to some of you 30k veterans, apologies for kind of going over things that you probably already know, but I want to talk through a little bit of details of how this army is built and how I'm planning on playing it. So, as my right of war, which is kind of the way the army plays, the extra bonuses that the army gets, you can choose between a vast array of different rights of war. For me, I've gone for one of the World Eater specific rights of war, just to kind of add to the flavour of the army. And you've got a couple of World Eater only rights of war. I've gone for the Crimson Path, because I think it's the way that I want to play my army. That's more or less the only reason. It kind of goes to the fluff and the way kind of that I want to play it. So the Crimson Path gives you a couple of benefits. So the first thing that it gives you, which is really quite powerful, is it gives you feel no pain in the enemy's deployment zone. So anything that can get into the enemy deployment zone automatically then has feel no pain. But on top of that, if a unit already has feel no pain, it's improved by 1 up to a maximum of 4+. So that's really powerful for units that already have feel no pain. It makes them ultimately extremely survivable if they're not going against anything that's going to double them out. That feel no pain is going to be, you know, almost an additional save for them. So really powerful. On top of that, you also have any independent characters that are World Eaters also gain It Will Not Die, which is really effective again, and that is again in the enemy's deployment zone. And once again, if they already have It Will Not Die, that improves by +1. So you can see it's making your your units extremely survivable once they get in the danger zone, which is your enemy's deployment zone, which is kind of, as I said, the way I want to play. I want to get right up in the grill. Not sure whether it's going to be really effective, but the way I've seen a lot of armies playing, there's some really ridiculously good artillery pieces that are going to sit in the deployment zone and are going to fire out really effective volleys of long range shooting. I want to get right on top of those things really quickly. I want to be on them in the way that only World Eaters work, and that is absolutely just smashing their face in, putting their teeth right down their throats, second turn. That's what I want to be doing. So that's kind of what it's all about. I want to be getting right up there, and this Rite of War encourages me to do that. There is some little additional bits on it, and I'm going to read it out because it makes more sense if I just read it. So in missions which the attrition and or line breaker secondary objectives are in play, the opposing player earns an additional +1 victory point for each of those objectives the World Eater player does not fulfill. A detachment making use of this Rite of War may not include any immobile units with slow and purposeful special rule. And it also says detachments using this Rite of War may not take fortification detachment or Space Marine allied detachments. So basically you can't take emplacements, anything like that, anything that kind of doesn't move, you can't take. So that's not going to affect the way that I'm building it. It also means that if you don't get those objectives, it can stack up for your opponent, and you do find that with quite a lot of the Rites of War there is like a minus bit to it, so it gives you a bonus, but it does give you something to think about as well, and obviously that will potentially affect me going forward. So that's my Rite of War. Now let's go over the Force. Now, as I said, this isn't a massively competitive Force, and this is pretty much everything I currently own for my World Eaters. There's quite a lot of upgrades that are not necessarily necessary, if that makes sense, and ones that I've put in just to kind of pad out the points, and this does actually even come 10 points shy of my 2,500 points, but there you go. It's as I said, it's a first outing. This army's probably more a 2,000 point army with a couple of bits taken out, but I want to go up to 2,500. It's more of a normal points value for a 30k game, even towards really 3,000 points. So I just wanted to kind of pad it out and give it a go. So let's have a look at what we've got. So leading the Force, I've gone for Khan the Bloodied, or eventually Khan the Betrayer. Let's bring him in there. And Khan is a really good character. He benefits through having Gorechild, which you see him modelled with there. He's not quite as effective when he has the cutter, so when he's in an army with Angron and he can't take Gorechild, he's neutered a little bit, but with Gorechild he's really effective. So he's got a great stat line, he's a very effective unit. He has a Warlord trait which is +1 to seize, which I really like. Because he's a World Eater, he's very good in a challenge, because his weapon skill gets beefed up in a challenge, and he's very good at cutting down any of the other sort of special characters in combat. He's got a 2-up save, he's got a 4-up invon. He's very good. He's a nice unit to have. He's a little bit of a force multiplier, and he's a great HQ. So he's who I've gone for in my first HQ slot. And then, as you can see behind him, you have the Apothecary character that is Gorlak something. Let's find what his name is. His name is, still getting used to it, guys. His name is Galan Surlak. And actually, I've not really come across him in the fluff yet, to be fair. So maybe you can write in there what he's all about. There's a bit of a description in the write-up on him, but I've not really looked at it in too much detail. So basically, let's move Khan out of the way. You can see him. So is apothecary. He's got slightly better stats than a standard apothecary. Nothing too spectacular, but he does give you some really nice benefits. So what he does is he can nominate 1 unit of tactical marines, and they become his inducti. They then have a +1 to their strength, which is very good. They do also mean that they can no longer be scoring, which is a bit of a downer, but I have got quite a lot of scoring units in this army, so it's not too bad. He also gives a 4-up Feel No Pain to the unit that he joins, which is an incredible buff. So he's going to be there to make sure 1 unit's very effective and resilient in any part of the battlefield. He will probably join Khan and some Red Butchers to make them very survivable. That's kind of the plan with him. And then he will buff 1 of the units of tactical marines to make them a little bit harder hitting. So that's him. He also has some extra little funny rules which we'll kind of go through in play, but he can gain extra victory points if he's within range of things when they die. As I said, it's a little bit complex, but we'll go through it when it comes up in the game. So moving on to troops choices, I have 1 bog standard tactical marine squad. The sergeant has a lightning claw and a bolt pistol. He also has melter bombs, artificer armor, just to make him a little bit more survivable. But they're your basic bolter marines, nothing special, and they're just there to sit on objectives. They'll probably be the only part of this force that will be fairly defensive, depending on the mission, but that will be the plan. They will be fairly defensive as far as World Eaters go. And then we have the second unit of tactical marines. Now these are all close combat weapons. Just shows how long this army's been a bit of a work in progress. There's some chainsaws on there because when I was making this army, it was back before the chain axe gave you a +1 strength. So we will be using the Marker Dave a little bit for these, and they will be all acting as chain axes, just because there's no reason why they wouldn't be chain axes, to be fair, and it's not a big deal. I just like the variety when I assembled them of having a bit of both. But they are, as I said, so they've got close combat weapons. Because we're using them as chain axes, a majority of them have got chain axes. They are +1 strength, which takes them up to strength 5. We then will make them the inducti, which means they won't be able to score, but it then will take them up to strength 6. So really hard hitting unit. The sergeant in there again has melter bombs. He also has a combi melter as well. And the reason why I've kitted him out a little bit more shooty is this unit will almost certainly be the unit that goes in one of the drop pods. So when that drops in, he'll have 1 opportunity to potentially take out a vehicle when it drops in the backfield before his unit then go in for the charge next turn. That's the kind of battle plan with him. That's the way I've kind of fielded him out. And also he'll stand at the front. Once his combi melter's used, he's then a bit of a sacrificial lamb to see how much shooting he can take up with his artificer armor before he goes down. So that's very much the tactics with that unit. They're a little bit of not a suicide squad, because every unit in a World Eaters army is a suicide squad, but they're a unit that's going to go in, and if you leave them alone with that high strength in all their weapons, they're going to cause mayhem. And we go into the first of the Assault Marine squad. So I was about to say fast attack, but obviously these sit within the troops choice in 30k, in particularly within these World Eaters. I'm not too sure how many other armies they come in troops choice, but they do in the World Eaters for sure. And again, all close combat weapons, all chain axes. We have a sergeant who has a power fist, and he has melter bombs as well. And this particular squad, again, this is where I've spent quite a lot of points. I've given them all melter bombs, so the entire squad has melter bombs. Really expensive upgrade to have on every single one of your troops, but I had a lot of points to spare once I kind of got everything in the list. So they will be quite a aggressive, frightening fort for anybody. obviously up to strength 5 because of their chain axes, and they've got those melter bombs as well to pin on vehicles and dreadnoughts and whatever they happen to come against. So hopefully they'll be a fun unit. I'm considering deep striking them in. I want this army to pretty much all drop in turn 2. And a lot of it dropping in turn 1. That's kind of the plan. We'll see what happens. We'll see what Winters has to bring to the party, and whether that still seems like the best tactic. But I want these guys up in the face quick. And then in the next fast attack T, I told you I'm going to say it. And then we have another identical unit. I say identical. The sergeant is kitted out exactly the same, so again power fist, melter bombs, but the rest of his squad just have chain axes, so they don't have the melter bombs upgrade. But still really strong, solid unit. Hopefully will cause a lot of damage. Going into the elite section of the force, we have a Contemptor Dreadnought. He's just your basic Contemptor Dreadnought that came in the Betrayal of Chaos box set. Obviously you've seen him before. He's a little bit remodeled to look a bit more aggressive. He has got a power fist. In that power fist he's got a melter. I've upgraded the bolter to a melter, and then he has a Carey's assault cannon, so for a little bit of shooting there, but mainly again this guy is going to be aggressive. He's going to try and get as close as possible. He's going to try and do some damage. If anything drops in his lines, he's going to try and deal with nice and quick with that power fist and that melter. Then in the other elite sections of this army we have the dreaded Red Butchers. So I have 2 units of these. Both of them are kitted out exactly the same. So they are 5 men strong. They have a sergeant in each unit. The sergeant has got the chain fists, twin chain fists, for really anti-armor. He will absolutely rip through anything he gets close to. And as I said, we have 2 units of 5 of those. With one of the units, doesn't matter which one, we have a dedicated transport of the Spartan, and the Spartan is again really kitted out. So I've gone for every single upgrade just to kind of make sure the one that's really survivable, it gets its value. So it has the flare shields, it has the ceramite armor, you name it, it's got it, auxiliary drive, dozer blade, it's got the lot. And it's obviously got its las cannons. I've stuck with the las cannons this time. People have said the laser destroyers or whatever the other gun option is actually better. Put it in the comments if you think that's the case. I'm not really too sure. But we're just going to stick with the las cannons for now. But yeah, so that will be carrying the Red Butchers. It will almost certainly be carrying Khan and Sarlacc as well. So that will be a solid unit. It'll be hard to crack open the Spartan, and its goodness inside will absolutely pack a punch if we can get where we need to get. And then in the fast attack choice we have 2 of the Dreadclaws. So Dreadclaws, basically just using these as my transports. They're absolutely wickedly cool models. They look immense. They're very fluffy because these were gifted to Angron by the War Master as kind of, you know, as a present, if you like, because of their absolutely aggressive nature. So it would be wrong of me not to have these in the force. So I have 2 of these, and they will be, one will almost certainly be dropping the other unit of Red Butchers, and then the other one will almost certainly be dropping the unit of Tactical Marines, the Inducti. So one of them will obviously drop down first turn and hopefully give Winters something to think about, and then the other one will come in afterwards to see how much damage it can cause. And if I drop in the Assault Marines as well, then we've got quite a lot of aggressive potential early on in the game. So that's the way we're going to play it, guys. Hopefully it's interesting for you to kind of hear all about the force, how I plan to play it, and give you a full kind of rundown of how it works. And this is 2,500 points of beautifully painted Sons of Horus.
Thank you very much. It is beautifully painted, but not by me. This was painted by Awakened Realms Painting Studios because I don't have the time. Anyway, I'll run you through the whole thing. Right in the front there is my HQ. That's Garviel Loken. So he's basically a Praetor with a Paragon blade, but he's Initiative 6 instead of Initiative 5, which is nice, and he gets back up on a 2 the first time he dies with 1 wound left. Then I've got another Paragon, another Praetor next to him. This guy's got a Mastercrafted Paragon blade and digital lasers, so lots of attacks as well. And then in the troop slot, we have 2 units of 10 Tactical Marines, just bog standard Tactical Marines, with Dozer Blades on the Rhinos, Artificer Armour on the Sergeants, and Combi Plasmas. No close combat weapons in there. If they get into close combat, then I've probably lost. Backing them up in the troop slot is 10 Terminators. These count as troops because my Rite of War is the Long March. It allows me to bring them as Terminators as troops, plus I get Relentless in my deployment zone fleet in no man's land. So these Terminators, if I'm charging something in the middle of the table, could potentially have fleet. There's 5 Power Axes in there, 4 Fists and a Chain Fist, and they'll be rocking around in a Spartan with ceramite plating and a flare shield, which is pretty standard for ceramite for Spartans. In the backfield there, I've got 2 Leviathan Dreadnoughts because 1 isn't enough. And they're loaded out exactly the same with the Leviathan Storm Cannons and ceramite armour and the Volkite Chargers.
Are we allowed to say cheese in 30k? Is that allowed? Can we say that?
You can say cheese, but in a game that has glaives and titans and it's cheesy, but it's not as cheesy as you can get in this game.
It's acceptable. It's acceptable level of cheese.
It's acceptable. I mean, it could be 2 Leviathan Dreadnought Talons with like 3 in each.
Okay.
That would be cheesy.
Okay, I just need to gauge the level of cheese here. We've got to gauge it. This is first time out for the 30k.
Yeah. You can say cheese.
I can say cheese. That's okay.
Then in the backfield, got 2 Rapier batteries, one with the quad mortars and shatter shells. So strength 5 AP4 at 60-inch range, or strength 8 AP4 direct fire with the shatter shells. And over on the other side is the laser Rapier destroyers. These are strength 9 AP1 twin-linked ordnance. So in a game which has a lot of ceramite plating, bringing something that's strength 9 AP1 ordnance is pretty good. And then last of all, I don't think I pointed out, but I've also got a Mortis Contemptor Dreadnought with 2 Keras Assault Cannons as well. So he's elite, these are elites, that's elite, and the Terminator, that's 4 elites, which is why I've brought the Long March Rite of War, essentially to squeeze another elite slot in there, the Terminators. The special rules for Sons of Horus as well is Death Dealers, so I'm Ballistic Skill 5 at 12 inches or less, and Merciless Fighters if the troops essentially outnumber my opponent in the last round of combat, and as I'm going up against the World Eaters, that isn't going to happen, but if I do, miraculously enough, they'll get to strike again once. And that's pretty much it.
Right guys, so we are all deployed and we are playing, what's the mission called? Blood Feud.
Blood Feud.
And this is Isfahan 3, this is the World Eaters coming down to try and cleanse the hanging around loyalists that are biting in after the virus bomb. So we are in this wreckage of the city. You can see the remnants of where this virus bomb has gone down. Most of the loyalists are obviously being killed off just by that alone, but there are some plucky loyalists that are hanging around and not going down without a fight. So this should be a very, very entertaining game. Khan is down on the planet. He is doing what he does best and cleansing this loyalist force. And he has brought a force of World Eaters with him to do that. And what we will be taking on today is we will be taking on the Sons of Horus. And this is Garviel Loken. He is going to hang on in there. He's going to try and fight off the impending doom of the World Eaters. And this should be a very, very entertaining game. So, from a deployment point of view, I have pretty much null deployed. You've seen the force, so pretty much everything is dropping in. I have the Assault Marines I've decided to deep strike in. I have the 2 drop pods, so one will obviously come in first turn, and the other will come in hopefully second turn if I'm lucky. And then we have in the Spartan, we have Garlac, we have Khan, and we have a unit of Red Butchers. The other Red Butchers are in the pod, and the Inducti are in the other pod. And then we have the Contemptor sort of getting a bit of cover behind the Spartan. The only other unit I have deployed are down here, the unit of Tactical Marines. My kind of hanging around try and survive Tactical Marines. Whether that be the case, I do not know. And Winters has pretty much spread himself along. He's got a nice little shell of metal here. So he's got his Terminators, Loken, and
the other Praetor.
And the other Praetor. So yeah, so this is a really dangerous unit, which is great because it's pretty much mirroring the same as mine. So we've got an epic battle there. We've got 2 Tactical Marine squads in their rides there. And then over here we've got this, and I don't know how I'm going to deal with this. I'm really not really too sure because there's a hell of a lot of shots, a lot of resilience, and yeah, this little group of metal doom is quite scary. I'm not going to lie.
Sting a bit.
It's going to sting a little bit. That might be the problem in this game, but we'll have to wait and see. And then we have over here the artillery pieces, which are waiting to shell down pain on the World Eaters. Hopefully I can get in their grill quick enough to take away that threat, because otherwise that's going to be annoying all game, to say the least. So yes, at the moment I am going to go first, which is great. So hopefully we'll drop in and cause some trouble, and in a minute we'll come back to Seas to see whether Winters wants to try and grab the World Eaters when they're least expecting it and go on the offensive. Okay guys, so for you non-veteran 30k players and viewers, because like me, this is a whole new experience, and so basically, as I said, we are going to play the mission Blood Feud. And how does this work, Winters?
Blood Feud, essentially get a point for every unit you kill, and also you nominate a unit type in your opponent's army which you have a Blood Feud against. You're supposed to keep it a secret, and you get an extra point for killing that. But we told each other what it is, and it's basically infantry. Infantry that are not independent characters are worth 2 points. Everything else, vehicles, dedicated transports, whatever, are worth a point each. And there's also a point for attrition, or basically whoever's got the last man standing. Whoever's got the most number of units left at the end gets an extra point as well.
Okay guys, so Winters decided he's not going to try and steal the initiative. He says it's rude and he doesn't want to do that.
It's morally wrong. You invite me to your house, I'm not going to steal from you. Come at me, bro. So that's the way it's going to work. So it is not night fighting, and we will go into World Eaters turn 1. Okay, so end of World Eaters movement. So the Anvilus drop pod Dreadclaw has come smashing down here. It's scattered a little bit back. The Red Butchers have disembarked. They're going this way towards the artillery, but I'm pretty scared of these guys. They might all die straight away, but there we go. That's what Red Butchers do. They care not for death. They just want to get in there if they can manage it. So that's them. The Spartan has moved fast, moved 12 inches over to here. It wasn't immobilised, obviously it has dozer blades, but it's gone crashing through there. It was fine, and the Contemptor Dreadnought has kind of followed as closely as it can behind. The Tactical Marines have climbed up onto that ruin, just to see whether, you know, potentially as things get close they might get some shots, also getting some cover, and I really don't want them to get shelled and run straight off the board from indirect fire. So they've come forward a little bit to hopefully give them a chance of surviving, and they'll probably run a little bit in a minute anyway. So that is the end of movement, and then we'll go into the shoot. Okay guys, so very first shooting with the new army, guys. You're going to get to see it straight away. So the Spartans come through there. Most things are blocked, but I can get line of sight just on this second Rhino that's hiding behind. He is pretty well partially covered, but I'm going to go and have a go anyway. I'm going to use the power of the Machine Spirit to shoot at full ballistic skill. We're looking for the 3s. It is twin linked. And we just get the 1 hit, and strength 9 against front armour 11, and that will be a glance. Cover save.
Which he makes, so no damage to start off with. Go away. Okay, so end of first turn, so not much in the shooting phase. You saw the only bit of shooting, everything else was runs. So I got a good run with the Red Butchers, so they've kind of run forward as far as they can. They're not going to go out of danger, they're still going to be in trouble, but we'll have to see whether they can survive. If they can, next turn could be juicy for them, so it will definitely give Winter something to think about, because these guys do mean business. Obviously the pod has stayed still where it is. it will be able to move next turn. I mustn't forget that. It is a flyer. But these guys here have run forward a little bit, spread themselves to make sure they potentially can take out of range of, not out of range, but out of multiple barrages. So they've kind of spread themselves. And the Dreadnought has run up, got a good run, and is hiding behind the Spartan, hopefully out of line of sight from quite a lot of things. So we'll see what happens now as we go into Sons of Horus, turn 1. Movement for Sons of Horus. The Rhinos and the Spartan have kind of moved across, and they're very much coming on aggressive. This is going to be an insanely epic battle against these two heavyweight units, without a doubt. Winters is just putting a bit of tactics involved here, which we don't do being World Eaters, but he's put a little bit of terrain in between me and him. So potentially, yes, we might be able to get in next turn, but we're going to have to go through terrain. The Red Butchers won't worry too much, but it could be the difference. So a little bit of tactics going on there. No immobilisation, thankfully, for Winters. He's managed to use his dozer blades to work to good success, and nothing causing any damage there. And then the horrible Dreadnoughts have come up this way, eyeing up both the pod, but also the Red Butchers. The artillery are obviously in a good position. Some can see, some can't, but they'll definitely try and rain down some pain on this World Eaters army as we go into this shooting phase. So starting off with some shooting, laser destroyers into the drop pod.
Hitting on 3s. They both hit, and it's strength 9 ordnance, so I roll 2d6, pick the highest. That's a pen, and
nice.
The second one is a glance.
Okay, so I'll take the glance. So we have jinked, because obviously it's a flyer, which we fail, so the glance gets through. The pen gets through as well. What does the pen do?
AP1.
Stunned. Okay.
I'll fire the shatter.
Go.
So I'm going to fire these at them. This one can't see, one of them can't see, but this one can see. And it's going to be the direct fire shatter shells. I'm hitting on 3s, but I'm re-rolling 1s because it's the first shooting phase for the long march warlord trait. So there's that many hits. And it's strength 8 sunder, so looking for 4s. And with sunder, re-roll. So
nice.
2 pens, 1 glance.
Okay, so we've got a glance. So it has gone. 2 pens.
It's gone.
It's definitely gone. It's a wreck. It is gone. First, the Red Butchers are surviving this. They're laughing this off. So Winters is going to start off with the little guy.
2s to hit. Re-rolling 1s because it's the first. And look at all those 1s. Re-roll 1s for the first shooting phase with the long march. So 12 hits.
That's nice. It's a nice start.
Strength 6.
2s.
Rending.
We don't want any 6s.
That'd be 2 rends and that many saves.
Okay, so starting off with the standard wounds, so I've got a 2-up save. I'm just toe into his deployment zone, so then I'll be on a 5-up feel no pain because of the Crimson Path. So first of all, let's have no 1s. I don't like that very much.
That's 3 1s.
That's 3 1s.
3 1s.
So we'll then try and get some 5s now. Here we go. And that is 1 dead and 1 other guy loses a wound.
And then 2.
And then we have 2 rends. So now I'm obviously out of my Feel No Pain 5-up, I'll just be on a 6-up Feel No Pain. So first of all, let's have 2 4-ups. So you make 1, and then we need a Feel No Pain of a 6, which I make. Ooh. Nice, okay, tasty. So now the Leviathan is going to try at the Red Butchers as well. He's going to be shooting at them.
4 kites, hitting on 2s, twin linked, and this is strength 6, AP4. So 3 wounds.
3 wounds. He's hitting well here. These Sons of Horus are not happy. So again, we're looking for 2s. Oh, we got a 1 again, and then we're looking for a 6, which we don't get. So 1 down to 1 wound.
It does another wound with Defilgrate.
Here we go.
Wounds on a 2. No.
Doesn't wound. Okay.
With the Leviathan Storm Cannon, hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s, and this is strength 7, AP3, so wounding on 2s.
I like the 1s. The 1s are good. So 4 wounds. Okay. Come on.
But it's only AP3.
Come on, Red Butchers. No more 1s, please. No more 1s. Oh, the new model syndrome's hitting me hard, and now we need 6s, which we don't get. So that is another 2 wounds down, which will be 1 dead and 1 wound on another guy. So brutal stuff.
This guy couldn't get hit. He was out of the firing arc.
Yeah, so that guy survived, which is why there's 2 on 1 wound. And we'll go on to the next bit of shooting. So end of the shooting phase and the end of the term for the Sons of Horus. So this Dreadnought, after the first one, did pretty well. Couldn't actually get anything because of his firing arc. So he's sort of turned around this way. Only got 1 on his runs. Couldn't really move very fast. Just making sure that he's kind of back to back. Making sure that his rear armour is a bit protected. And then over here, the Spartan took some shots at my Spartan, but with the flare shields, no damage being done. So that's the end of the shooting phase. The Red Butchers do hang on in there. There's 3 left. They're heavily hurt, but obviously they are fearless. So that's great stuff for me, because it does mean next turn, hopefully, we can get in their face, which is what we want to do as we go into turn 2 for the World Eaters. So end of movement phase. So all the reserves came in, which was good, and we've gone for the absolute ballsy approach. So we've just said, as written in the Horus Heresy novels, we're going balls deep in their face. I think that even sounds worse than what we said before, but there we go. So first of all, I dupe struck these guys in. They did scatter out of the woods here, but just managing to stay on the board, which is great, avoiding any dangerous terrain tests. I have in fact got to take dangerous terrain tests for these guys, which I'll take in a second. But these guys did direct hit down behind the Rhino, perfect positioning, which is great. And this pod here scattered back a little bit, but again, not in a bad position. We've got the combi melter, so we can do some damage to this Rhino. These are the inducti, so it will be -1 to the ballistic skill, but not too bad. The Spartans come crashing on forward. We've moved the maximum we can to disembark these guys. They've disembarked out into the forest. Got quite a good disembark roll as well, so rolled a 6 there. So Khan and his guys are ready to potentially crash in with those chain fists on the Devourer and see if we can get this goodness out of the Spartan. Over the other side, the Red Butchers that were heavily damaged by the Dreadnoughts and by the shooting in the last turn rolled a 6 on their move through cover into the ruins here. So they are in touching distance of making contact with these artillery pieces, which is exactly what we needed to do. So not too bad, actually a pretty good movement phase, but very important phase for me now. I need to cause some damage, because undoubtedly once the dust settles on this turn, the Dreadnoughts will seriously have something to say about the remains of my army. So we'll see what happens now as we go on to the shooting phase. Guys, we're going to start off with some shooting. So I am doing my primary target from the Spartan into this Rhino, and then I'm going to power the Machine Spirit into the Spartan to see whether potentially we can chip a hull point off it. So we're going to start off with the Rhino. I'm going to shoot the las cannon first of all, the las cannons into the Rhino, and we've got 2 hits, and we've got 2 pens, so not too bad. Any cover there, do we think, potentially?
No?
Yes, I think you have. You are partially covered, definitely.
Nope.
So both go through, and they are pens, so let's see what they do. So no
double immobiliser,
so there's a wreck, so it's gone. Happy days, so they'll get out. So end of the shooting phase, a mixed bag. So obviously you saw the Rhino go pop, and the guys came out. No, they weren't pinned, and they're not having to snap shoot, which is handy for them. We did then try to shoot out this Rhino. No damage done from the Assault Marines there. And I missed with the combi melter on the inducti, which is always going to happen, really, to be fair. But they're not interested in that anyway. They want to get in their faces. These guys here were out of range of everything, so they've run 3 inches, so they've kind of just spread out a little bit. Not too bad there. And the Dreadnought has run as well to just kind of bring himself in that direction. Everything else is where it is because it's waiting to potentially charge. So we'll now go into the assault phase. Okay, so starting off, we are charging into the Spartan. We need a 5 inches, but because we're going through terrain, that will make it a 7. Because the unit is mostly made up of Red Butchers, I get to re-roll my charge. So we'll try and see where we can get in.
Ooh,
and
re-roll?
We will re-roll, and it does actually say re-roll. It's not fleet, so we're going to have to try and see how we get on.
You're in.
Easily get in, which is good. Okay, and over here the Red Butchers just need a 4 inches. He says just need.
You're in.
Okay, so the end of the assault phase and the end of the turn, so it's gone really, really well, I'm not going to lie, so better than I could have possibly expected, to be fair. So after Khan and the Red Butchers got into assault with the Spartan, just a sheer volume of attacks from both Khan with his Armour Bane Gorechild and also the Devourer with his Chain Fists blew up the Spartan. I only actually took 4 of the hull points, but I did get an explode result. So it exploded, didn't do any damage to the Red Butchers, but did pull down 2 Terminators. So in this way the story goes, Khan is not going to get speared on any front of any Land Raider or any Spartan. He is looking at his prey now and he wants blood. Over here, the Red Butchers that had a very, very short charge made absolute mincemeat of the artillery piece. So earning me, I'm on 4 now, aren't I? Because I got 2 points for that. So I got 4 victory points that turn through the damage I caused. So that takes it up to 4-2.
The Rhino, the Spartan, and then over here, that's a unit, but the ground crew are infantry, so that's 2. So 4-1.
4-1. So pretty good going for the World Eaters. Very much on the aggressive now. It's going to be interesting.
That stung.
That did sting.
That was painful.
You enjoyed that, didn't you?
No, I didn't enjoy that. I didn't expect that Spartan to go.
And I'm going to let you in a little secret here. So when we were planning this game, Winters said to me, "Are you sure you've got enough anti-armour?"
I did.
That was what he said.
I did.
And the Spartan that are pretty much unkillable is now very much dead. As we go into turn 2 for the Sons of Horus. Okay guys, so end of movement. Now Winters is saying this is a trap. It was all planned for. The Sons of Horus have laid their trap. So basically the tactical marines have come out of their transport, ready to potentially lay waste to this assault marine unit, and these guys have backed off again to make sure that they can cause some damage over here. The dreadnoughts have decided not to, there's a lot of to and fro, and Winters, you know, you're not sure here. You're looking worried.
See these guys? There's a point there, but if I divert some firepower that way, then I need to deal with this. Then I can go back for them later. But that's a point. That's 2 points because it's infantry as well. Yeah.
So he's to and fro, but basically he's decided that he's going to try and really put some pain down on this side of the board. So obviously these are my Inductile, a very, very useful unit, and he should, with this Dreadnought alone, cause a lot of damage to them and potentially tie them up, if not kill them. So they'll be in trouble, and that'll be that unit down. And obviously he's hoping then the 2 Assault Marine units will go down through weight of fire, which will then leave the big fight to happen over here. So it's going to be an interesting one. As I said,
Loken versus Khan. It just has to happen.
It has to happen. It's going to happen.
My money's on Khan.
I'm not sure. I don't like the fact that you're striking me first. That's my worry. I don't like that instant death blade with you striking me first. They're the kind of the tactician is going, maybe I should not be challenged. Anyway, we'll see when we get to that stage of the fight. The bloodlust needs to come through. Khan's nails need to talk, and I will do the listening as we go into the shooting and the assault phase for the Sons of Horus. Okay, so end of the shooting phase. I think I got off quite lightly, to be fair. So the cannons on top of the ruins here, the las cannons did take out the other Dreadclaw, so they exploded that, which was pretty good going, and then everything pretty much unloaded on these 3 unexpected units, to be fair. So the Dreadnought did take a massive handful of guys from here, only just leaving the 6 guys. These guys here went down to shooting again from basically the tactical marines. In fact, no, these guys went from this dread shot into these, and then the tactical marines shot into this unit of assault marines. That's right.
Feel no pain.
Yeah, so because I get feel no pain in the enemy's deployment zone, that's really, really helpful. So that's keeping me alive, to be fair. So I do have some morale tests though. So let's start off with this unit here. This unit here has lost their sergeant, so we're looking for an 8. Falling back. So we're going to need 3d6, and we'll just work out in a minute where they go. Okay, so remember that.
9 inches.
9 inches. This guy here do still have their sergeant. so they're fine, and the unit there in the middle have the sergeant as well, and they're fine. So these guys will be fleeing back in a second.
Sorry.
So then over here, the guys unloaded onto the Red Butchers. Obviously here, because I've got Garlac in there, then they have got a really good Funa Pain as well, but just the armour's done the business, to be fair. So I only lost 1 wound off one of the standard Red Butchers. These guys, we have just moved them now, and they've actually, the funny thing is, they've actually gone from having 11 inches gap between them and the Leviathan to now having an 8-inch gap. So yes, I thought I was actually pretty safe with that save. I'm now in big trouble, and Winters is going to roll that now to see whether he can catch me.
Come on. I wouldn't have made the charge. You failing that.
Okay, thanks for rubbing it in. Thanks for that. Cheers.
Yes.
Cheers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Murder.
So I'm going to try and pass my leadership test straight away to see whether he just moshes me. So you say do.
You're in.
So we regroup. So we'll see whether we can survive the brutality that is a Leviathan. So we're just going to film this. Well, in fact, we filmed Farfoot already, but we're just going to, just for cinematics, I'm going to see whether the World Eaters can pop this Leviathan. So he's just charged in with his massive stampeding charge. He's taken down one of the World Eaters just with that alone. But then when he struck at me, missed 2 of the attacks with the actual hit, but then rolled Snake Eyes for the wounding. So I do just have, so I stupidly, well, because I had loads of points, as you would have seen in the army going over at the beginning, I have melter bombs with every single one of these guys. But obviously I can only throw 1, so I'm going to throw my 1 melter bomb. I am going to need a 4, so this might be a massive anticlimax, but it's not going to be, because I'm going to hit. I'm not going to hit. Right guys, so this is the big one, and there's been a lot of to and fro with what we're going to do. So the competitive player, the 40k player, is scratching and biting to come out. But I have managed to overcome that. So Winters has challenged me with, of course, the main man himself, Loken, and of course Khan had to be the man to take that challenge. But the sensible side of me said, let's take it on a Devourer. I have a 4-up followed by a 4-up because of the special rules from Solak in there. But that's not the thing to do. We'll take it with Khan. I have got a much higher weapon skill. I just need to get through his attacks, and he does have instant death. So not very fun, but we'll see whether we can get through these attacks. We're going to film it. Let's see whether Khan can overcome the brutal strike.
You put a little bit of polish on there. I challenged you and you said no. That's what happened. And then I had to wind you up.
Don't. Well, I'm editing this out, guys. I'm editing it out.
Okay. Weapon skill 6 versus weapon skill 8 in a challenge. So I'm hitting you on 4s. Good luck.
I'm going to need it.
That's 3 hits.
Okay.
He's got 4 attacks, 5 on the charge. And this is strength 5.
Okay. Against
6 is cause instant
no
death.
6s, please.
Instant death. AP 2. You don't get feel no pain on instant death.
I have 1 roll, guys. 1 roll, otherwise Khan goes down. Come on, wish me luck, guys. Wish me luck. Come on.
Good luck.
Come on. Come on. Blood for the blood god. Yes. And the other save, which we make. Okay guys, so I am going to rampage because I am outnumbered. We just checked it, we weren't sure whether it was on the charge or whether it was just standard, but apparently it is, so we're going to roll, see how many charges any extra attacks he gets. He does get an extra 1 attack, so which is quite tasty. So he has 4 normally, so he will get 5 attacks, which is quite tasty. And I am going to be hitting on 3s, and I reroll 1s.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Good
We
job
need
for
that. Okay, just the 2. Just the 2, which is all we need, guys, because again, I have decapitating blow. So all I need is 1 6. So I am going to be wounding you on 3s again, because I'm +1 strength. And let's have a 6.
1 wound.
1 wound. So not too bad.
Iron Halo.
Fails.
Takes a wound.
Takes a wound. Okay guys, so as you can see here, this probably tells a lot of the tale. So you saw the challenge. After that, most things were striking at the same time. So first of all, his Praetor did kill 1 of the Red Butchers, but after that we struck at the same time. I did muller 5 of them with my mass amount of attacks, which was good, But unfortunately, just because he's got twice as many people as me, when he struck back and he hit me hard with his power fists, and even though I have 2 wounds and a great feel no pain, unfortunately just with that instant deafing them with the power fists, he managed to take out every single one of the Red Butchers as well as the Apothecary character as well. So Khan took no damage at all. He is just there. He did then do his extra attacks, didn't cause any damage there. But obviously we just realised that Khan is not fearless, which seems crazy, but that's the way it works. So potentially Khan is about to get cut down, which is not much fun. So we were going to see here, we're going to roll it on camera. So I need a 4, and now World Eaters do re-roll their morale. In fact, they don't even re-roll the morale. Of course they don't. What they do is we roll it first of all. If I pass it, then fine. If I fail it, on a d6 roll of 4+, I stay in there and I get rage. So we'll see what happens. So I need a 4. And Khan is not taking prisoners.
Exactly,
he's angry.
where he wants to be.
He's where he wants to be. He's facing him down. He has the higher weapon skill. He's untouched. He's going to wreck face, guys. Okay, so the end of the turn after the absolute bloodbath that we knew was going to be. So Winters has taken it right back and swung it the other way. So due to killing the Red Butchers and Sarlacc, and obviously blowing up the pod there, and obviously blowing up the pod earlier, he takes it back up to 5-4, we said, didn't we?
Yep.
5-4, so it swung right back the other way. Obviously the World Eaters now are exactly where they want to be, so we'll see what happens as we go into World Eaters turn 3. So, end of movement, and the advance does not stop. So the Inducti that took quite a lot of heat from the Dreadnoughts has dashed this way. I'm eyeing up a 7-inch charge into the Terminators to try and save Khan.
Don't do it, Ace, don't do it.
Going to do it. They've got, obviously, with their axes, because they're Inducti, they do have strength 6. They will be striking first. That's not bad going.
But they're Terminators, Ace, they're Terminators.
We don't care about Terminators. Weight of dice, you're going down. You're going down. No feel, no pain, no extra wound. All we need to do is get a few ones, and Khan could be swinging again. Over here, obviously, these guys are stuck in combat. We'll just hope for another melter bomb. Those are probably dead, but there's not a lot I can do about that. We don't run away. We stay there. World Eaters cannot choose to fail morale tests. Over here, these guys have walked out of the terrain and are eyeing up a pretty easy charge on these guys. And the Spartan swung round. Spartan's got some shots on this Rhino or potentially down the board at this Dreadnought, and the Contemptor again eyeing up the Dreadnought or potentially shots on the Marines. So we've got a lot of options, and then of course down this side we hope that this should be the end of the artillery as we take these guys out. Okay, so end of shooting, pretty uneventful, but we did a little bit of chipping away. So the Spartan shot through and took off 2 hull points from the Dreadnought. It's also stunned, shaken, one of the two. This Dreadnought here shot through and took out 2 guys again of this unit here. Got a rend, and in fact got a couple of rends and managed to get some hits through as well. So not too bad there. These guys obviously didn't shoot because they are going to try and save Khan. These guys here did do some little pistol shooting and took out another couple of guys. I was worried slightly. Winters says no problem, I've got fleet, so I'm saying it on camera now. So if he messes me up, guys, that's Winters' fault. That's Horus corrupting him already. We've got fleet, and obviously these guys no shooting, so they're just waiting for that charge.
Horus doesn't corrupt these guys. It's Garvey or Loki.
This is true.
Loyalists.
This is true. There's loyalists
for the Emperor.
For the Emperor, we'll see. You're going down now. We have the World Eaters phase now. Okay, so far in the assault phase, the big Leviathan has cut down 3 of the assault marines. I did fail morale. I did actually clamp on a melter bomb, but I only managed to shake the Dreadnought, which is quite good because it does mean he will be snap shooting. I did escape from combat, which is handy. he should probably go down just through mass shooting. I'd have thought it's an easy target and one that really Winters can't afford to just leave, so he'll almost certainly go down. Over here, however, I did annihilate the Tactical Marines, and they ran off the board in the end, what was remaining of the squad, which was pretty good. Over on the far side, the Butchers did lose one, but obviously, and I even rolled really badly, but because of their special rule, because of the Crimson Path, and because they already have Feel No Pain, it is a Feel No Pain 4-up, which is really tasty. So I did make one of those, and meant that there were 2 guys to strike back, easily cutting down the artillery pieces. So that's 2 points for me. So pretty good so far. But let's go back to the main event. Obviously, my guys have now joined the fight. But first, before we get involved in that, let's see whether this epic struggle between Khan and Loken. Let's see how it goes. So Loken's going to go first.
Falls to it. Just one.
Just one, but all he needs is one. All he needs is
Freeze
one.
to wound. Instant death.
He's got it again!
One on Halo save, Khan goes down.
Oh, it couldn't be any more epic. It couldn't be epic. Right, here we go. For the Blood God. Yes! Okay guys, so we now are going to be hitting back with Khan. I don't get any re-rolls and I don't get the extra attacks, but let's see how we get on. We need 3s. That's pretty tasty, much better than last time. We now need 3s to wound, but ultimately we really want to see one of those 6s, and let's send that scumbag down. We don't, only the 1.
4-up.
Which he fails another wound, so he is down to 1 wound. So Khan is chipping away. It's a proper epic battle, so there's no death blows. The 2 absolute expert fighters are cutting each other's blows out of the sky and stopping any decapitating blows. But Khan is just about getting the better of things so far. He's blundering through Loken's attacks and he's slowly but surely chipping him away. So now we'll get my guys to attack the Terminators. Well, actually before that, we do have the other Praetor to see how he can get on. Okay guys, so end of that assault phase, and Winters just saying he proved me right, it was a bad idea, but there you go, this is World Eaters, we only can go one way, and that is kill! So even though Khan is doing a sterling job in there, just cutting down the blows left, right and centre and slowly chipping through where he needs to be, his inducti that came in to try and save him took no wounds, then were beaten down, 3 of them killed off, and then they broke from combat. Khan easily passed his leadership on another double 1, so he's absolutely fine where he is, but these guys have dashed away and they are into the trees now. Thankfully, a lot of Winters shooting is snapped firing, which is really handy, so I've got sort of 2 units that are running for the hills, but he's going to have to probably put quite a lot of firepower in them to take them down, which is handy. So that's the end of the turn. Quite an interesting one. So as far as victory points, I didn't think I got any more than that at all. No, I did actually. I got 2 over here, and then I got 2 over here as well.
Yeah.
So I got another 4, which takes me up to 9 to 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
9 to 5.
Probably.
Sounds about right.
We're not too sure. That was a good turn. It was a
good turn. It was a good, but it's been an absolute bloodbath. So we'll see what happens now as we go into turn 3. Is it only turn 3? Turn 3 for the Sons of Horus. So, end of the movement phase for Sons of Horus. It's a lot of planning going on now. I've taken a bit of a lead. We just worked it out and it's actually 8 points to 5. I'm leading. But there's some nice, easy, quick wins, hopefully, here to be picked up. So the Dreadnoughts are kind of eyeing up potential targets. Obviously these 2, so the Carey's assault pattern one and then this front one are both snap firing. This one's obviously at 4 ballistic skill, so lots of deciding what to do. The units over here has come around the corner. They are relentless because of their special Sons of Horus ability.
Right of War.
Right of War, that's the one. And then they're going to rapid fire those guys and hopefully pick up the pieces if they need to in assault. See, Khan is in a lot of trouble, but I back him for this one. I've got him. He's got this. He's got this.
Khan is a dude.
Khan has got this, and that's pretty much it. So there's the opportunity for Winters to at least draw level, if not take a slight lead at the end of this turn. But he needs everything to go right. Okay, so probably not the best of shooting phases. Did okay. So took out the one guy that was on his own here. One of the dreadnoughts took him out even with snap shooting. The other dreadnought decided to go after my Contemptor, taking him down to 1 hull point, but he is still shooting at full ballistic skill, which is tasty. Absolutely no luck down here, even no rapid firing into my guys. I made a bucket load of saves, which was absolutely fantastic, because that means it's not going to be a foregone conclusion when he charges me by any stretch of the imagination, which is what he's planning to do. And then one of the inducti was pulled down again by shooting from dreadnoughts. But he's obviously running. He's not really worth a point, so it's not really a big deal, to be honest, about him, but it's still nice to have one guy left and frustrate Winters. We always like that. Let's frustrate Winters.
That's good. I want a slingshot. Use him to slingshot up to the Spartan.
And that's not happening.
That's like tactics.
That's not like tactics. Almost like tactics, just not quite. Tabletop tactics. Okay, guys. So we're now going to go into the assault phase. So we're partway through the assault phase. So over here, the World Eaters are doing what they do best and slaughtering Marines in the enemy's deployment zone.
Why?
Yeah, it was a bad move. It was a bad move. So I made basically all my saves anyway, but after that I hit him with a bucket load of attacks because of my extra attack from the close combat weapon, dragging down 3, I think no 2 from that, and then the sergeant then clocked 1 with his power fist, and then I chased him down and killed him.
Why?
And I've taken 2 points because of the goodness, and then I've consolidated behind that rhino. So there was no charge made over here, so onto this guy in the trees, and then we have the ongoing attack. So we're going to try again, going to see whether Loken can get his man or whether Khan will do the business.
For the Emperor. That's a cock.
That's not bad.
Forced to hit, all of them hit.
That's quite tasty.
6s.
We really want no 6s this time.
None
and we
this
get
time.
no 6s.
Just
That's
two,
good.
2 6s.
That's very, very good, guys. So we're looking for a 2-up, which we make both of them. This is pressure, guys. So he's taken 1 each wound, each turn. That's all he needs. 1 wound off him. We need 3s. We get every single attack through. We now need 3s again. And if we can get a 6, that's what we want to see. We get no 6s, but we get 3 wounds, and he only needs to fail 1.
Iron Halo.
Oh, he's dead.
No.
And he is
Born
dead.
Survivor.
Born
Garvey
Survivor.
Loken comes back on a 2 with 1 wound left.
Oh, he's back. But Khan has very much showed him who is the superior fighter. But unfortunately now will come the pain train, and will Khan be able to survive this brutal onslaught of attacks coming at him. So the Praetor has taken 1 more wound off him, not an instant death one, just a 2-up, which we make. Okay guys, so we should now see the death of Khan. So he has managed to get 4 wounds through with the power fists. I need 4 4-up. Not feel no pains. 4
Iron Halos.
Iron Halos, thank you. The pressure's getting to me, it's too much, I can't deal with it. And we'll see. If Khan can make this, he truly will become a prince. Oh, 3 1s. Khan goes down, he's instant death 3 times over.
Pressure.
So, the end of the turn, obviously Khan went down, but he did do well. He stuck in there. He did deliver a fatal blow, but against somebody saved by the Emperor, he got back up again, and he was absolutely fine. So he's got 1 wound left. The Terminators are there. They've consolidated into that woods after the Inducti. They are facing down a barrage of shooting from the Spartan and potentially the Contemptor, and that is more or less it for this turn. How many points did you gain?
It would have been 8 points to 8. But then because I killed this guy, that's 2, Khan, that's 3, so 8 points to 8, but I gave you 2 points.
You did, so that takes me up to 10.
Yeah.
10 to 8?
Yeah.
10 to 8.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is close, guys, but obviously I am very, very reduced in numbers, but also I can potentially start to pull back and hide, but we're World Eaters, so we're not going to do that. Okay, so end of movement. What I've done, these guys here are going to go hopefully for the easy kill on the Rhino. The The Spartan's moved as far enough basically away as he can, to be honest with you. He's going to shoot through, and hopefully he's going to shoot at full ballistic skill, and he's going to try and bring down this Spartan, this Leviathan, that's the one. And this guy here, I really wanted to get him further away, but he needs to be in range to make sure that he can try and take the last whole point of this dude. And this guy's, he's re-rallied, he's dead. But to be fair, it's just going to frustrate and annoy Winters because he's not worth any points. So he's just going to kind of stand there and just stick his fingers up in the only way that Winters can at him. And obviously my Marines that have done an absolute sweet FA are going to just hide over there because they've not come forward, so I don't feel too bad about leaving them back there. However, the Red Butchers, that actually the best move to do is move them behind that building. And I just want you to know this, guys, because this is fighting against every emotion I have. These Red Butchers should have used their movement and their run to hide the other side of that building to deny any kill points, because they are worth 2 kill points. But we do not do that. We go forward. We are World Eaters. We are in the enemy's deployment zone, so we are going to go forward. But I did only get a 2 with my movement, so we'll run again. We'll stay in their deployment zone, but we're going to come at them all we can. Okay guys, so end of the turn we ran through the assault phase because basically in the shooting phase I actually didn't really do very well at all. So the Spartan failed to do any damage to Leviathan, and then I decided to try and take the last hull point off this Contemptor Dreadnought, and I failed to do anything to it. So that was a bit of a killer. We did realise, of course, I'm still learning, schoolboy error, I couldn't have run these guys behind the building anyway because obviously they are in the Cataphractory armour, so they just moved down there, and we did kind of check back, and obviously nothing seems to have overrun, or we haven't done much running if any, so I don't think there's been really any errors, so apologies for that little oversight. And then as far as the assault, I did easily wreck that. I did in fact throw a grenade and took out one of the hull points through that, Power Fist alone taking out the remainder. So I did take another victory point. So I take a lead of 3 victory points into turn 4 for the Sons of Horus. They don't have much left, I don't have much left. The interesting thing here is he doesn't have anything now that's snap firing. Everything is pretty much hitting me at full ballistic skill. So pretty much what he decides to shoot at should die in theory, but we've got a lot to play for as we go into turn 4 for the Sons of Horus. Okay, so we're heading towards an epic finale to this battle. So these guys here, Loken being slowed down by his wounds dealt by Khan, his army, his force here is struggling to get through these woods.
That's nice, that's very nice.
You like that?
Yeah, that was good, that was good narration.
He's giving me lessons, you see, that's what's happening really, guys.
That's good. He's entrails hanging out behind him.
Yeah, there we go, see, we're building that narrative. I told you we were forging some rock hard narrative. Yeah? So these guys, as I said, so they only rolled a 2 for their move through cover, so they're not going very, very far. They're going to struggle to get in. They're looking for about 11-inch charge, we reckon, because they're going through cover.
Because he doesn't give up any points at all, the inductee. So there's no point in going for him. It's just got to get the Spartan.
He's got to get the Spartan. So the Dreadnought here is moved to a side. He can get a bead on 2 of these guys. If he can kill them, he can break them. And then the assault cannon guy is shooting definitely at these Red Butchers.
The assault cannon guy.
Assault.
You went from really good to the assault
cannon.
Do you know,
that's the thing. See, it's
Mortis Contemptor Dreadnought with Chaos Pattern assault cannons.
That's what I said, guys. That's exactly what I said. Alright, Winters, alright, stop it.
You've been playing Tower for too long.
Yeah, I know.
For the Emperor.
This funny thing with the funny white stuff shoots at that funny thing with the green stuff on, and then that thing dies. We're going to go with something like that. It's heresy. It's heresy. Everyone's switching off all around the place. So that's where we are. So we're going to go into the shooting phase. We'll go straight into the assault phase, and we'll come back at the end of the turn. Okay guys, so end of the turn, and Winters is frustrated. He's not happy. He messed with the Red Butchers, and the Red Butchers have laughed him off because of that 4 up, feel no pain in the enemy deployment zone.
I've got 5 runs.
He got 5 runs, but I did manage to shake them off, and he is on his own. Obviously, Red Butchers are fearless. The guys over here, he pinged off 2 of them, and I did pass my leadership test on a double 1 again. He's forgetting that he is in my home now, in the enemy's deployment zone. And then over here, he failed to get the charge on the Spartan, even with a reroll fleet. The 11 inches proving too much. So we'll go now into turn 5 for the World Eaters. This will be a touch and go turn.
Got a point for killing the Dreadnought.
You did.
It's 2 points to you.
I mustn't forget. I'm getting excited, Winters. I'm getting excited.
2 points in the lead.
2 points.
Well done.
2 points. So it's going to be touch and go. I'm going to have to play tactics here, guys. As I said, we've kind of almost talked it. Really, that Red Butcher. He's a minus madman. He should go towards this guy.
Yeah, but there can be bad guys that way.
There's got to be bad guys off the board. We've got to forge some narrative, because let's be honest, guys, that would be suicidal. It would give him 2 points, and it would definitely mean me losing the game. That would be really stupid. And I am stupid, but I'm not that stupid. So end of turn 5, absolutely nothing to write home about, to be fair. So the only thing really I could do was try and take the Spartan. Why do I keep saying that? Leviathan. So I tried to take out the Leviathan. I did get 3 hits, but failed to get any glances or pens. So that means I only managed to get a 2-0 lead into the 5th turn, which should potentially, I think, will give the Sons of Horus and Winters the victory. But it's going to be close. These guys here have just hidden, to be fair, and I'm not going to lie, they've just hidden. And this guy here did, and this was quite important, because this will be the clincher, I think. I did not manage to get through the wall. Obviously I have no run, so he is staying there, and he will now take the full blunt of the assault cannons. Okay guys, so the end of turn 5, wow, it's proving to be extremely close, let's say. So, pretty good turn for me, I got away with it. So even after all that shooting, I survived. This Red Butcher the Devourer is proving that he truly is a boss, and he has survived again, and this turn he will definitely be hiding behind that wall. So he should be safe, denying 2 points there. Obviously these guys were not in line of sight of anything, so they hid, and obviously there's not a lot else that Winters could do. So I currently do take a 2-0 victory, and that on the primary mission. But we just looked at the secondary missions. It's Slay the Warlord that Winters does have for killing Khan, and it is last man standing. So last man standing, and basically that means that the player with the most units will take that point. So it's currently an absolute draw. The game lasts for 6 turns, so there is no roll. We will go to 6 turns, so we have 1 more turn left. I need to kill something, and then I need to try and hang on in there. It's going to be pretty tough, guys, but there is a chance. You're saying there's a chance?
There's always a chance.
There's a chance.
Yeah, you're winning by 2 points, but with those others, it's 12 points each.
So I need to get another point at least, but even then it's probably going to be tough. So we'll see what happens as we go. Yeah, he's the hero. He's the hero.
That would have been a win. That would have been.
That'd be game over. There'd be no point even playing any longer.
Won you the game.
He may have done. He may have done. What a hero. So we'll see what happens now as we go on to turn 6 for the World Eaters. Right guys, so it is the end of the game. So what a close game, what an epic struggle. So that last turn was fun till the bitter end. So pretty much it was lost in one place, and that was here. The Spartan needed to take out the Leviathan. I didn't. I failed to take a single whole point. Past both his invons to shake off the las cannons that he has all game long, and that was pretty much it. There's nothing more I could do. The Red Butcher has sensed blood somewhere else on the battlefield and has raged off into the distance, chanting devilish cries into the battlefield. And then over here, I had no choice, guys. These are World Eaters, and we will play World Eaters until the end. So the impending doom of both the Dreadnought and his unit of nasty Terminators with his 2 characters in there. There's nothing else for us to do. I had this chance that potentially, with my Feel No Pain in his deployment zone, I would potentially get some tanking going on with my Artificer armour. So I ran in there, I tried to do some Hammer of Wrath, failed to do anything. His Praetor stepped up with his Paragon Blade, even with 5 attacks and being mastercrafted. He rolled an absolute bag full of 1s and 2s, and the only 1 managed to go through. So I had 1 Feel No Pain to potentially give me a chance to strike him back. I failed that 1 Feel No Pain, and then he went down. So we just rolled it afterwards just for a bit of fun. And actually, if I did manage to get that one Feel No Pain, I would have killed the Praetor to give me an extra victory point. He then obviously, Loken stepped up. Even though he's heavily wounded, he did chop down the remaining Assault Marine to stab home the victory. But what an epic game. Absolutely loved it. So cool. Thank you very much, Winters.
No problem. I think he did. That was a clever move, that is, because we were tied. And you kill the Leviathan, you get a point. You kill him, you get another point. That's 2 points. And then it could have been a tied game, and if the Leviathan had failed to rip open that Spartan strength 10 AP2, it could have failed to do it. You could have drawn it.
Yeah.
So trying to snatch it back there.
So it was close.
In the end,
yeah.
I gave you 2 points earlier. You gave me 2 points at the end. Thank you very much. Very generous of you. And that was, I would not have predicted it to be so close. That was epic. That was epic.
So absolute awesome game. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I can't thank Winters enough for giving my first game of 30k. Go for it. Tell me.
This is the second time I've played with you, and I really like playing with you. You're very gentle. Both games have been very nice. Even though the last time I was drunk. So this time though, yes, you're an awesome person.
Thank you
you're
very
really
much.
Good. You remind me a bit like Michael Jackson.
Hang on a minute. We're going down a hole that I'm not sure I want to go down right now. Healing the world. Okay, not
those sorts of things.
Not touching the children. I didn't say anything at all. I said nothing.
You remind me a bit like.
I'm not
Rocky
sure we're going.
Balboa.
Okay, we're going back up again.
You know, because you're a fighter, but you've also got a heart inside. Yeah, you know, like Big Bird and Sesame Street.
Yeah, again, we're back down again.
As well.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure where this conversation's going, guys, and it's going to a place I'm not sure if I'm 100% comfortable about. In my own house as well, I think we might need to get that.
Thanks for inviting me. It was a great game, and you are an awesome player.
Thank you very much, Winters. Much appreciated. Of course you have, guys, but if you haven't, please do jump over and check out Winters' channel. He is a legend of the community, an awesome battle report producer. He's got some great tutorials on how to make a range of different terrain pieces, well worth checking out. He's got some awesome armies, and definitely I can't recommend it highly enough. But until the next one, there'll be a fair bit more 30k to come. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.